What's up, Spotlight Omaha? We are back after a bit of a long drought, and we decided to open things up pretty big. We've brought in the Bells. So
Yay!
welcome. Thanks for coming in.
We're so excited to be here.
You guys have been on our list for a while, but you live in Nashville.
Yeah.
Is that part-time or is that full-time now?
It's about like
50-50?
full-time, like
Oh, okay.
1/4 here, 3/4 Nashville, basically.
Okay. So you're at home to, like, what's the big stuff that you're doing when you're back home?
Back home is making like YouTube videos, doing shows back here in Omaha, just keeping up the home front.
So Nashville's all the behind-the-scenes work that you guys are.
Yeah, most of it is done in Nashville right now. But
and so you're doing recordings.
Yes.
You're down in you're in the studio down there.
Yep.
Who you recording with down there?
Well, we're trying to figure that out right now. Right now, we're just kind of collecting all the songs that I've written over the past year and kind of figuring out which ones we're going to cut next. But we're actually doing some recording here in Omaha, and that's going to be with Dana Murray.
Okay.
Out of his studio. So we're super excited about that. That's one of the songs we played today, Demons. That one's, he's going to record that one. And he's just doing amazing work on that. So it's been really awesome to be able to record some stuff here. And it's just super like high quality, like, national level. So we just can't wait to put that out.
How are you balancing things out with you two, obviously being the mother-daughter duo band, and having her up in Nashville for like a good portion of the year, and then having to keep everything going on your side as well?
Yeah, well, it's actually working really well. Like, she has such good opportunities for writing in Nashville that every day she goes to write with some great writers, and that's the songs that are going to be on the upcoming project with Dana, and then we have another upcoming project that's more long-term that we're working on in Nashville. And then we have these acoustic songs of our EP that we're going to put out toward the end of March that are also going to be, but those are done. Mm-hmm. A lot of the other stuff is work in process, but we take her songs and our favorites that we really identify with, we put them in our shows, and then we've been, using those to record and see how they feel. It's kind of like trying on clothes. Like, you have to see how they kind of feel when you're like in the studio. So, but I go to Nashville probably once or twice a month.
Okay. So you're making the travel quite a bit.
I'm making the travel, and I crash on her couch in her apartment because Nashville's just kind of really expensive.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So,
I bet a one-bedroom's still like buying a house out here. So
yeah. But we make it work. Like, we're so happy to have a place though, like for her.
Yeah, that's been great.
Yeah, and so I go there. I might go to meetings. We might go to I don't know, we do a lot of different things behind the scenes like there. And then I come back because I still have here my husband and my two sons who are 14 and 16. And I still, of course, want to be a good mom to them. And one of them's a hockey player and one of them's a drummer. And it's really important to me that I'm, there to go see a lot of their stuff.
So you got a busy mom life back
Busy
at home.
mom life. But then we're always going on the road and playing, and, it's just a lot, but I love all of it. So I just feel really blessed to still be able to continue to do this. But Kelly, man, she's got so many good things going with her writing, and that's really the priority with us is her and her writing. And I feel
now you mentioned your son's a drummer. Is he part of the band? Like, does he play with you occasionally? Or?
Not yet. But he plays in a blues ed band called Far and Wide. So they play tons of gigs all summer. But he's almost too busy for us to put him in right now.
Yeah, he's a freshman at in high school, and he plays in the jazz band and a lot of bands there. So he's very busy and he loves it. But I think eventually we will. Mm-hmm. But
try and get the family band going.
Yeah, maybe. But our
other
band,
kid can play a hockey stick up on the stage.
I know, right? Our band, though, of guys we've had with us for almost 4 to 5 years, who play with us, our regular band, and we love them so much, and they're like family to us when we go out on the road.
Yeah. They're like my older brothers. So
that'd be a tough thing to do, because after that amount of time, you guys can read each other so well already. Like, that'd be near impossible to move seamlessly anyway. That'd be
exactly. And I can look at them and know that we're gonna skip this next song, or it's like an unspoken communication between all of us, but it's super fun.
That's that next level musician stuff that sticks in there. It's kind of hard to replace. So speaking of which, do you guys feel like you two lock into each other a lot more on the musician level or as the mother-daughter duo? Like, is it more of the mother-daughter relationship, or do you guys enjoy more of the musician relationship with each other?
You answer first, because I know what I think, but I'm curious to know what like you think about that.
Well, I think it's easy for us to connect really well doing music just because we know each other like so well. Like I know her probably more than I know myself. So I think it's super easy for us to just kind of know what each other's thinking, can, read each other, and really I think it's almost like you can read each other honestly, so then you can come to a more honest compromise than with someone who you don't, know that well. You have to get their opinion. So I think it works really well, but
if you're into an argument, it's your mother-daughter. Like, what are you going to do? Kick me out of the house or something like that?
Yeah, well, I feel like when we step on stage that I forget that, I don't mean this in like a unloving way, because I love you so much.
I think I know where you're going.
I forget that she's like my daughter, because I feel like when we're on stage, we're actually like working musicians, and we're just like working toward that goal. So it's kind of like that drops away, and we just are like in our show mode or whatever. And also when we're having meetings, I am constantly saying to Kelly, what do you think? What do you think? Because I really feel like her artistic vision and drives this band, and that's what I want. Like I feel like I don't really want my vision on it. I want her vision on it. So it's true though. I'm constantly saying, Kelly, what do you think? And then we do what she thinks. So I honestly feel like we have a really good, open, honest relationship.
Yeah.
But then there are times when we'll go out to dinner, or I'll make dinner, and then we slip back into mom and daughter, pretty easily. But
that's good. That you guys can switch back and forth. You can be professional when you need to, and still have that family closeness without it interfering with anything.
Yeah.
Because I know that would probably be the hardest thing for most people. I know for myself, I come from a family of musicians. I've played with my family before, and didn't work. That's you haven't heard of us. It hadn't worked out. So
I think
like backstage before a show, like if we're both really focused and really like, in our show modes, like you were saying, like we're very much in a professional space. Like I'm not gonna go up to her and be like, Mom, what are you gonna make for dinner after this? And she's not gonna come to me and be like, make sure you finish your homework. It's very much just like do the best show you can, and we're very like separate people in that way. Yeah. Just like two people trying to.
Good, strong demarcation.
Yes.
Good deal. But
especially now, Kelly's been living on her own in Nashville for a year. So, that's really been good, because it's not like she needs to rely on me for anything. And I feel like we have a really mature relationship. Mm-hmm. But also, I'm also like, I know my role. Like, I feel people might think there's like there's not a lot of like drama, because
there really isn't.
I'm just letting her drive the bus. And that's what, I think that I don't really have. I've said this a lot of times, like I've been in the music business a long time, and I feel like I don't really have an ego at all, because it's kind of just been like, You
realize that there's no place for one after a while.
Isn't.
Like you can't squeeze it in there.
No, and so it's just whatever's best for the project, and I really feel like she has the vision, and we're just running with it, and also it's so much fun, and you don't want to do this if it's not fun. Like
absolutely,
it's too much work to not have fun.
Well, and the formula that you guys have is working out, because we're seeing you guys are being featured on CMT. What's the story there? Like how did you get the ball rolling there?
Well, so we made this music video actually with my two best friends from high school in Omaha at Hollywood Candy, and that was just kind of we just walked in there. We're like, hey, can we shoot a music video in there? They were like, sure.
So Didn't Break Mine, right?
Yeah. So it was for a song, Didn't Break Mine, and we shot the whole thing in one day, and we thought it turned out great, like better than we had expected originally. And then
I watched that today. The quality on it is really high.
Yes.
And it was cool seeing it in Hollywood Candy, seeing it in a local location, because I've been in there many times, and so it was pretty cool. Getting to see you hit on Elvis a little bit.
I know, right? And all the people in it are like my brother's in it, my two best friends are in it, just like all these people that just came together for us. And then, so our manager actually sent the music video to CMT, and they really liked it. And then they said they're gonna put it on, and we were like, okay, great. And that was in like July, but they didn't actually add it until December, which was, that was just, we were like,
we just thought we'd wait because we were like,
and we were just felt so lucky to even have that opportunity at all. Like, it just,
you didn't want to push him either. Be like, hey, where is it? You said this was July.
Yeah, and they had us in to play live for them in November, so we knew things were rolling then.
Yeah.
And then they added it in December, and we were so
thrilled.
happy. So we had driven back from the day it debuted at like 8. We knew it was going to debut at like 7 a.m. and then at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And so we had driven all day back from Nashville, and we got in at like, I don't know, just about 20 minutes before. And then it debuted, and we had a bunch of friends over, and it was like just
we watched
it really,
it on TV, and that
it was really
a great
fun.
moment.
So, speaking of the music video, I have to know if the male subject in the video actually had to drink that mustard shake that you made him. He did actually do it. So that was a genuine reaction.
Because literally, we just planned that like the day before that we were gonna do the thing with the milkshake, and so my brother literally made a milkshake in our blender right before we left for Hollywood Candy.
But he only
they wouldn't let you do it there. So.
But he only made one.
Yeah.
So we only had one shot to get that right, and then poor Jason. I made him drink the milkshake. He was such a good sport about it.
Did he know that there was mustard in it beforehand?
Yeah.
Okay, so
and there was like quite a bit of mustard.
So he was committed. Like he really went for it.
He did. And he had to do that like 3 or 4 times too. So yeah.
That was the first thing I saw, is seeing the cringe on his face right afterwards. I was like, man, I think that was a genuine reaction. Like,
yeah.
Now, and you guys have. You guys are building another music video catalog. You said you were filming a couple more upcoming here.
So we're right now, today we just we're out scouting locations. Like, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do for this next one, but it's just such a fun process, and it's so great to get to do it with my best friends in the whole world. But that's something that we're working on right now, and hopefully we'll shoot it coming up here at the end of April or so.
We have one that we just finished called Fly that we shot at this. So along I-70, when we drive to Nashville, there's this, like, what we call airplane graveyard, but we learned it was an airplane salvage yard. And from I-70, it's just a little bit, is it a little bit south of Kansas City or Columbia? I can't remember. South of Kansas City.
East of Kansas City.
East of Kansas City.
And, so there's over 3,000 airplanes just sitting in a field. And some of them are huge, and most of them are smaller. Mm-hmm. But we've seen this driving to Nashville for like years, and we were always like, we want to shoot a music video there. So then I looked it up on Google Images. I found it, and I found the phone number. So then we just kept calling there, and eventually they let us shoot.
First of all, she wrote a song called Fly.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, now we can shoot a music video at that airplane place.
Yeah.
And we called
you had
them
your eyes
up.
on it for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but we just needed the right song. So then she wrote the right song, and then we called them up, and we talked to the owner, and he said yes. So then we got to shoot there, and
we got to go inside some of these old airplanes that have been in like crashes and stuff. Like, it was kind of creepy.
And you've got a snippet of that video up already.
Yes. But they just finished the final edit yesterday. So hopefully that'll come up in the next week or so.
So yesterday being sometime well in the past.
Yes,
right.
Whenever this ends up coming out, might be up already when you guys see this. Who knows?
Yeah,
depends on
it'll be on our YouTube channel.
Depends on how productive I am when I'm cutting all this together. So I'll never guarantee anything. So what's the next big thing for you guys that's coming up right now? Like, because you're recording in Nashville. There's definitely something huge coming out of there.
Yeah, so I've just been writing for that project. Like, I wrote, I think, 6 or 7 songs last week, and then the week before that, I think I did like 4 in
there's a lot
3 days.
Of songs, yeah.
So there's a lot of songs, and a lot of them I'm writing with like a specific team out there that we're kind of building this project to be something really cool and special, and I'm super excited about it. It's going to be really unique and like really true to us, and I just can't wait. But it's going to be a couple months before that comes to fruition. But we're doing this stuff with Dana, and then that's going to come out soon. And then we also made acoustic versions of our current EP that's on Spotify right now, and those are going to start getting released every other week.
Yeah.
starting
End
the
of
end of March.
Yeah.
So pretty consistent there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So watch
That was a 4-song EP, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we actually recorded those last winter, really.
Yeah.
And we did those at Make Believe, and those are done. And we've just been kind of waiting for the right time for those to come out. And so we decided end of March, and that'll be
I've
nice.
heard nothing but good things out of the Make Believe studio guys.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Love
amazing.
them.
We love them.
Yeah, Rick Carson and just those guys
They're
have been
awesome.
great. We've cut a lot of demos with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always creative and fun to go try out demos and see how they feel on us. But I really am proud of Kelly, though, and some of these songs are so good. And I think that what's kind of been neat is once we put this out, this first EP out, we really thought the next project, we kind of started just writing toward it then. So I feel like there's so much like to choose from now for the next project. It's going to be like really good because there's so much that's gone into it.
Yeah.
So now you guys started off in Omaha, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing the rise that you guys have been able to get up to, I mean, undoubtedly a huge amount of work. But here in the local scene, we've got a lot of people that are looking to do the exact same thing. If you had to give some advice to somebody who's just getting started or has been going for a while and is like kind of in the trenches a little bit, how do you guys recommend they kind of get out of that rut or go through without falling into one?
I think specific to us, like having my mom, who was signed to a major record label, when she was with her previous band.
When I was with Mulberry Lane. Yeah. It's just,
she knows the business so well. Like, I feel so lucky to have her guidance through all of this. And
so
that has been such a huge help. But I think, honestly, it's just doing what scares you, kind of. I was really scared to move to Nashville and try to go for, the big scene.
Sure.
Because Omaha is such a great city and so many great local music supporters. I think it's hard to kind of give that up and go for something so huge that who knows what it's going to,
So, but taking the risk
and
off,
doing what isn't necessarily comfortable, or it pays off in the end, even though it's a lot harder than. But I think it helps though to have this base here and have all of our people here that support us. Like, we wouldn't be where we are at all without everyone in Omaha who has helped us along the way. But I would say just making that leap and just going for it, because I think if you don't do it, then you might look back and think you should have,
And I would recommend to somebody to try and keep up with you guys' social media releases, because you guys are very active there. I mean, you guys were vlogging here. You're Snapchat fiend, so you're on top of that.
She does this. Her Snapchat is our band Snapchat. She does all of that.
Yeah.
We
try. That's a huge part of our business, really, is social media. And just trying to grow that as big as we can.
I mean, it's the main stage for musicians nowadays is the internet, for sure. But anybody who can keep up with that and
it's a lot
still enjoy it at the same time while they're going through it. Cause
I feel that also your question about people trying to make it and trying to go to the next level. I think that it's really, you have to work so hard and do a lot to get yourself up to that next level, and that there's always disappointments, and there's always things that you think might come through and they don't, but then things that you never think would happen come out of the blue.
Yeah, that's totally what's happened with us. With this last project, there was a lot of things that we thought were going to happen that didn't, but there were also a lot of things that happened that we didn't expect at all, and that kind of got us where we are now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade that, but I think a year ago I'm still young. I was very much just everything's gonna be great, but it's just a journey, and there are definitely ups and downs. And I think on social media, especially, with everyone, all you see is the ups and the great things that happen.
Try to keep it,
and
positive.
we don't really it's really, you don't see everything that, was a disappointment or something that didn't go well, or even if it went well, you still post about it and make it positive,
It's really easy to glorify the good
Exactly.
stuff on social media because who's going to post the bad stuff up there for people to see? Like, that's...
Yeah.
So
but I think that some people look at it and they think, oh, it looks so fun and so easy. I mean, but it's just because we're not really, we're not there like going to say, oh, this could have happened, but it didn't. But then we just try to focus also personally on the positives and on how blessed we are. And there's a lot of, I think what's hard, sometimes I think the hardest part is the driving, because we do a lot of our own driving, and we have a van, a 15-passenger van and a trailer. And I think it's difficult if you have to drive all day and then play a show. And
no, windshield time is never the good part.
No.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you.
For the people who don't already follow you, where can they find you? You can look at either one of these cameras and send them your way.
All right. Well, our website is bellsmusic.com, and we are The Bells, and it's spelled BELLES. And all of our handles on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram are at Bells Music, and YouTube. And if you guys could follow us on our YouTube channel, that would be awesome. Also on Spotify.
And we also want to get some votes for you guys out for CMT.
So we're up for the CMT 12 pack, which is like the charts for all the videos on CMT Music. And we've been at like number 6, number 8, number 9. We're trying to get up to the top 5. But every vote counts, and you don't have to put in any information. It just takes like 2 seconds. So if you guys want to do that, that's awesome. It's on all of our social medias as Vote For Us.
Running there with like 3 or 4 different browsers and click on each one of them. Just
we appreciate all that. Honestly.
But we appreciate you guys coming in. You guys' Don't Break Mine and Set My Ways can also be found on the Spotlight Omaha Locals playlist.
Yeah,
so you guys can hear that there. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank
We
you.
loved the acoustic performances, and
Awesome.
We'll keep up with you. Hopefully we can get you again soon.
Thank you. We'd love to come back.
Anytime.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
It's a pill or a bottle of smoke.